Hiya Benchmates, and welcome to episode 31 of Beyond the Box Art. And we are joined by Oleksii Ukhan, CEO of Reskit from Kyiv, Ukraine.
Hiya Benchmates, and welcome to episode 31 of Beyond the Box Art. This time round we head to the Ukraine for what became a genuinely fascinating conversation with the CEO of Reskit, one of the most respected aftermarket manufacturers anywhere in the hobby today. We talk about the origins of the company, how Reskit has grown into a world-leading producer of resin accessories, the challenges of operating during an ongoing war, and why innovation, quality and passion still remains right at the centre of everything they do. It's an honest, eye-opening and hugely inspiring discussion, and one we're incredibly proud to bring you. Elsewhere in the episode, IPMS Dispatches is back and heads to the southwest of the UK as we catch up with the team from the Avon branch of IPMS with an update on their upcoming show, what visitors can expect this year, and why local clubs like Avon continue to play such an important role in keeping the hobby community thriving. We've also got the latest hobby chat from around the benches, plenty of laughs along the way, and probably a few additions to the stash that you absolutely didn't need 5 minutes ago. So wherever you're listening, at the bench, in the car, out walking the dog, or hiding from the family with a sanding stick and a coffee, settle in Benchmates. This is episode 31 of Beyond the Box Art, and it starts now. So for this episode, I'm joined by Shane.
How's it going, Benchmates?
Boulders.
Hello, Benchmates.
Nevs.
Hi, everybody.
And Dan.
Hi, Benchmates.
And obviously it's been 2 weeks since we've last had our conversation, so what has been sticking up on the bench then? Let's start with you, Shane.
Well, last time we spoke was down at Bovington in the campsite round the corner from the Tank Museum.
Ah yes, you still got the sunburn from it.
I'm actually just back from a run and it's very warm out there. But so Jacob has started and finished his Kobe heavy battle tank, Abrams, which I sent a picture on our little group chat, but I'll put it on the Benchmates page as well.
Cool.
He's really happy with that. And then Edward started a 172nd Italieri Apache.
Mm-hmm.
That's the AH-64 Apache. Let's not get confused.
Ooh. Nice.
And then I have been carrying on with what can only be referred to as Boulder's Kryptonite P51D. And I have painted it all up in metal, so all the metalwork's done. I just now need to finish the colour scheme.
Mm-hmm.
So jersey jerk with red across the nose, blue tail, and a few other black lines and stuff that I need to paint on. But yeah, I've been really inspired after visiting the Fleet Air Arm Museum on the way down to holiday as well, which I forgot to mention last time we spoke. But yeah, it kind of gave him a mojo back to get on the wings and finish off what was on the bench before I can start the next project.
So hang on a sec, you've been to the Fleet Air Arm Museum and you're working on a P51.
Well, yeah.
That doesn't quite work.
It does, because what is next on the bench has to be that Sea Fury.
Got to be.
It's just incredible. So yeah, I've got my mojo back on getting that P51 off the bench, and then I can crack on with that one, the old Sea Fury.
Okay. So with that, what's on your radar to buy next?
I don't even know. I don't even want to go there yet.
Come on. You're thinking of something, obviously.
It might happen at Littleport, and I can't trust myself. It might happen at Littleport. It depends what I see, but I'm tempted by a tank. I am tempted by a Challenger 2 tank. I can't contain it, to be honest with you. I've been looking online. I've so far resisted, but I think I've already decided I'm going to get one.
Resistance is futile.
It is in this game. But do you know what? It's never really been of an interest, armour, at all. But going to the museum, seeing what the stories are of some of the people behind it, and seeing some of it in real life is, it's inspiring, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, the Bugger Court. I think you posted a picture of the shop, which is a really cool shop. And I don't know how I walked out of there without anything for myself, but I will be plunging into the armour territory for sure.
You definitely need a checkup from the neck up after coming out of a model shop without anything for yourself.
Yeah, I know. There we go. But yeah, that's what's on the radar. But I haven't bought it yet. But I can almost guarantee next time we talk, I would have bought one.
Guaranteed, without question. Which manufacturer are you thinking of going for? Or more to the point, can Dan recommend the best one to go for?
Yeah, go on, Dan.
It depends what scale you want, really, mate.
Well, I'm thinking 35th scale. If I was to go quarter scale, it can only be Tamiya, because those black boxes looked awesome.
Yeah, the Tamiya one's lovely. The only 35th one I've built was the Trumpeter one. It was okay.
If it's 35th, I understanding that it's Ryefield that are the front runners and the Challenger 2.
Yeah, there's a lot of plastic in the box. It's got a full interior as well.
I'll be honest, that's the reason it didn't come with me out of the shop, because I opened the box, looked at it and thought,
Right.
not sure. But then I got home and I thought, I wish I bought that.
You should have got it, yeah.
So Ryefield, do you reckon?
If you see a Ryefield one and it's a good price, then get it. Obviously, do your research, as I do, before I go to any show if I'm shopping, and I'll come on to that later. But
yeah,
the Tamiya one is beautiful. It's a lot quicker build. It's still quite a big tank. Even in 148, it's still got a decent footprint because, as you saw, the real thing, they're huge, aren't they? Is the one down there got the slat armor on it or anything or not? Has it got anything on it? Or has it just got the chobber? Is it the chobber armor and the rubber skirt at the bottom?
it's got the skirt on the bottom.
I think they've got the Megatron.
Oh, they've got the Megatron there, have they?
Yeah, they've got the Megatron. And I think they've got a couple of normal Charlie 2s, but the Megatron's just a beast. That's just fully armoured.
Yeah.
It's just an absolute beast. I've built the 35th Charlie 2 in Tamiya. It's very, very nice, but you can only do a desertized version, which, it's a bit thingy. Green and black for me all day long.
And then the Tamiya one is, am I right? I think it's rubber tracks, isn't it?
No, what, in 148?
No, in the 35th.
Oh, sorry. Right, okay.
35th. Yeah, the rubber tracks. The thing is, Shane, you only see a little bit because if you do the desertized version,
Yeah, you don't see much.
it's got the side skirts going all the way down with the additional armour.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So you really can't see much of it.
So that's not too bad then.
No, it's not too bad, but if you want to go a bit brave, I'd get yourself either some thrill tracks or go for the Master Club ones, which come with the resin pins and the rubber pads.
Oh, see, escalates brownie. It's no good, is it? It's no good all of this modelling stuff, is it?
Well, let's put it this way. We've all worked out a few years ago that the cheapest part of actually the build is buying the kit. Because by the time you've bought all the aftermarket to go with it, you can guarantee it's at least quadrupled in price. So other than the tracks, are there any other essentials to go with the Challenger? Accessory-wise, that would be essential.
Just check the barrel.
Yeah. Accurate Timer used to do additional parts for the Charlie 2, sort of some update sets and stuff like that, and like additional slat armor for the back, but obviously Accurate Armor, unfortunately, are no more. They ceased production last year, but I would go for the Ryefield one
Okay.
all day long, and the price of it. Well, to be honest though, Shane, for an extra, about 20 quid?
Yeah, it's nothing in it. I think Tamiya's 35.
I think it's 40 quid for the Tamiya. Yeah, 35, 40 quid for the Tamiya. And I think if hunt round at shows, you'll probably get it for 50, 55 for the Ryefield one.
I've been hunting all over Vince's site as well, ahead of Littleport.
Yeah.
I've been looking on that. I know he's got some Tamiya ones, which is why I know I'm going to...
Oh, was he?
Yeah, that's why I know I'm going to get one.
Shouldn't have told me that.
Or I can see what price I can get you one for, Shane.
That sounds even better. Bargain boulders.
Yeah.
A bit of that.
Hold on. I'll see if I can
Get it right, bargain mutt boulders.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, it's better than saying AVF Club.
Yeah. No, sorry. I had a lot of letters and a lot of numbers and I was absolutely knackered.
Well, it was all the right letters, but not necessarily in the right order.
Shane, I would also look at the leopard.
Oh, I did. I looked at the black box one of that, and it does look so cool, man. And
And if you go for that, there's a couple of little things that I cannot work out why. And I was discussing this with Stan Spooner, Luke Pitt, and Rob on their quarter scale, was
Clang, name drops.
the suspension arms on the back are hollow.
Yeah, I heard this because I have listened to the conversation.
Yeah, which is so weird because I don't think I've ever seen that on any other tank model kit before. It may be on others, but I've never seen that. But Black Ops do a upgrade set now for the 2A7V, which is, I think they're on the way, basically. They're in progress. So if you keep your eye out for an upgrade set, it depends if you want to just get started on it. I mean, if you think it needs the upgrade set or you can build it without, that's entirely your choice. I mean, if you get one, you'll have that built like over a weekend. It'll be done and you'll be priming it and painting it and weathering it and doing whatever you want to do with it. Yeah.
Sounds cool. I was just reading.
There is another option for the Leopard. In June, Revell's 2A4 in the 40th anniversary special markings is out.
Oh, yes, that's a good shout. That's a very good shout. I don't know what the tracks are going to be like on that, Lincoln length or rubber band or individual.
The Ryefield one, they do a Ukraine Armed Forces Leopard 2A6 with the ERA and the 3D parts plus a free cruise set.
Yeah, I think I'll probably we'll see what happens at Littleport, I think, Dan and Boulders, but I suspect I'll be plunging
Pardon?
into the deep side of armour.
Oh dear. Okay, well, with that then, Boulders, what have you got on the bench at the moment?
I'm still working on my table mat challenge for the club, which is next week, and I'm pushed against it, to say the least, because I wasn't going to do one, and I thought, no, and then I got edged into doing one, so I am currently building something which will actually fit on the table mat, and it is a floaty thing.
Oh, that makes a change. What is it?
Well, there shouldn't be. Mind you, this is getting heard after the club meetings.
Exactly. Yes.
So I am currently building HMS Abercrombie Monitor in a most unusual, bizarre camouflage. She's a most unusual, bizarre ship because she's got a look of a Confederate ironclad warship and she's got a really flat bottom.
Okay.
So she was designed to walk rivers to do some damage.
Oh, that's different.
The draft was short on her, so it was packed with a one turret with 15-inch guns and caused havoc, apparently, in the Middle East in the Second World War.
I was going to say which theatre.
Second World War. So she was still in a Western Approaches scheme when she went over, and obviously that would have faded. And then in 1945, she was changed to the standard Royal Navy fleet colours. So I'm doing her as in the Western Approaches because it's not grey. It's just something a bit unusual.
Well, you're going to have to get some pictures up on the Benchmates page because you've done quite a few builds and there's been...
I know, I always forget. I've built to be honest, that's my 5th one this year.
Exactly.
Which is really, really, really surprising for me because last year I built none.
Yeah.
Didn't complete any.
So you got to put 5 up.
So yeah, I've got the Chinese Type 55, Chinese Type 55 destroyer, the Zach Speed Capri, James Bond's Aston Martin DB5, and the Imprez has been put on the back burner while I try and finish this table mat challenge. And then once that's done, I'll move back to Impreza.
Okay. Well, if you can get some shots up for the Benchmates to have a look at, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. No, I will do.
So what have you got on your radar then?
Nothing, actually. I need to, instead of spending money on model kits, I need to invest in my back garden. So that's where all my money is going to be spent for the next couple of months. So no more model kits for a bit, which is quite surprising. And if anybody sees me pick one up, do us a favour, give me a slap.
Oh, we will.
If you see me at a show and I pick a kit up, slap me.
Right.
And that's on record, so everybody can hear that. So if they see me picking a kit up, give me a slap and say, no, your back garden's more important.
I was going to say, it's also on record that you're going to do your back garden up.
Right.
Well, I need to, because obviously with the pond issue that I need to progress on with it before winter, so I need to get it all done.
So that means you got to go out and trim your bush then?
More like put a crater in my back garden And I don't have any bushes apart from my hydrangea on the front garden. So I don't like bushes. You started it, Brownie. You started that.
Oh, dear. Moving on swiftly. Okie dokie. Nevs, what have you got on your bench?
Same old for me. It's still doing the Scharnhorst. So it's definitely not going to be there for the table map challenge, unfortunately. So I'm aiming now for the annual build competition, which we do at Bolton, which is separate.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at that. So I think I'm going to need a couple of palette cleansers along the way.
Okay.
One of them I shared within the Bolton group the other day was finally found a nautical theme that would fit on the coaster that we had last year, which is a 700 scale Japanese landing craft. So potentially looking at doing that. It would be interesting to do that in like a river skate, like a bit of a Mekong Delta kind of resupply. So I'm going to do a little bit of research into the class to see where they were deployed, because Japan built about 100 of them, and see if any were deployed to Indochina, to see if it would be historically plausible to have it sailing up a river somewhere in South Vietnam.
Okay. And what have you got on your radar then?
Similar to Boulders, a lot of the modelling budget has been eaten up by a holiday and a new car. So that is eaten up into the budget for modelling. The only things currently on my radar is RS Models have released about 3 kits of some Italian single-engine fighter planes in 70-second scale. So they've got the Reggiani RE 2005 and the RE 2006. So obviously being Italian, they are very aesthetically pleasing aircraft.
Yes.
So we'll potentially be looking at those because they're good in terms of being a palette cleanser. Like I said last time, I did pick up the Italeri Veltro, so I might do that one just as something a bit different.
Okay, fair enough. And Dan, what have you got on your bench?
Still working on the 148 Tamiya Cromwell with the Black Dog resin upgrade kit that goes on it. Well, it has been put on the back burner a little bit because for the Telford show that would have been and gone by the time this comes out, we are having a special table to celebrate the 90th anniversary of the first flight of the Spitfire.
Telford show?
Sorry, not Telford. Not Telford. Our club show at Littleport, I should say.
Right.
Yes, we're having a table to celebrate the 90th for the first flight of the Spit. And we realised that amongst us in the club, because we're all going to submit builds to it, that no one has built Eagle Squadron or a US one. And everybody looked at me and went, Dan, Mighty 8, quick, do one. So I reluctantly agreed to do it. I was like, right, okay, giving myself 2 weeks to do it. So I chose.
So when they told you to do one, was it to actually build the kit or to actually clear off?
It was I think I might do one, to be honest with you, because I'm already stressed out about it. So I've chosen to do Don Gentile, the famous 4th Fighter Group ace, who was based at Debden. And I'm going to do his Spitfire Mark 5B and have chosen the Airfix kit, which comes with the decals to do his scheme.
Cartograph,
beautiful decals. Kit's actually really nice. I think it's about a 2014 tooling on the fuselage, and then they've put the other sprues and bits in there to get you your 5B and his specific aircraft. Oh, frustrating. It hasn't been a great modelling experience so far, maybe because I'm rushing. I think that's what happened. And I was very tired the other night. I literally got it all glued together, got the internal done, cockpit done, fuselage halves together, wings on, tail, flaps, the whole lot, all on. And I think I'm going to do, because it does come with a pilot, so I'm going to do the cockpit open, but with the pilot sitting in.
Gotcha.
I was going to do it in flight, change of mind, not going to have time to do that, and I haven't got the acrylic rod and bits to do it yet, so I've had to make a decision to do this. Glued on the front glass for the front windscreen, and like an idiot, didn't remember to mask off the front glass, and I hosed the thing in Mr. Surfacer, and I was just like, as soon as I'd done it, I knew what I'd done, and there's no point in trying to clean that off. I should just leave it. Thankfully, the kit does have a spare, but it's the armoured glass version. Now, whether that's correct for a 5B or not, it tells you to not put the armoured glass version on his one. So thankfully, I've got a spare that I've just put some Mr. Hobby Masking Soul Neo 2 or whatever it's called on to mask off the glass for that. So hopefully that will get done in time for display. I have got a really nice from Coastal Kits, the Mighty 8th winged 8th logo that I'll probably just set it on for display for that. And then, so that's it. Cromwell, once that's done, I'll get back on the Cromwell and then I will be shopping. I've got a bit of a shopping list. Funnily enough, talking about modern armour, I really like the look of the US MRAP ATV from Meng with the full in. No, that's the MRAP ATV is from Ryfield. And I also like the British Army Husky tactical support vehicle from Meng as well. I know they're 135th and I've sort of moved away from that, but I think that vehicle deserves. I saw a few photos of ones with like the doors open and the water bottles and cigarette packets and stuff inside, and taking a bit of inspiration from Spud Murphy and his bits and pieces where he really adds loads of little extra Easter eggs and eye candy inside to look at. I really fancy trying to do one of them, so I'm going to shop around for one of those at the various shows and bits and pieces coming up.
Okay, what colour schemes are spit in?
It's in the paint set here. It's dark green, ocean grey.
Gotcha.
And then this paint set, you can tell it's been a long time and I don't know much about Spitfire. So I've got a paint set and it's RAF dark green, RAF ocean grey, medium sea grey and RAF sky. That's all what I need, isn't it? Yeah. But the decal, the markings is the white star blue background but with a yellow band around it.
Okay, on what unit is it?
And then on the it's 4th Fighter Group, Debden. Why are you?
So I just I'm doing a quick Google to see about your canopy issue.
Whether it's the armoured glass one or not?
Well, I'm sure we're going to get inundated with emails and hopefully it will actually generate a little bit of discussion. But from what I can see, the standard USAAF 5B use the 1.5 inch thick bullet resistant windscreen.
Oh, so
it looks like it is the right one.
If you're right, I originally put the wrong one on and I've now replaced it with the right one.
The correct one. See, happy accident.
Yes, happy accident. If that's correct, because someone will spot that, definitely. The thing is as well, is it's going to be a very different looking Spitfire on a table of Spitfires. Someone will spot it and notice it.
Is the 2 schemes in the box, Dan?
Yeah, there are 2 schemes, mate. Yep, we've got...
Tell you what though, Dan, it looks smart on the logo.
I'm just wondering if that's A or B scheme.
Yeah, it will look good. There's 2 schemes. So there is another scheme in the box, but it's roundels and whatnot. That is another fighter group. So we've got Buckeye Don, flown by 2nd Lieutenant John Dentil, 336th Fighter Squadron, USAAF, Royal Air Force Debden, North Essex, England, 1942. And then also in the box comes another Mark 5B, obviously, which is flown by Squadron Leader Eric Hugh Thomas, number 133 Eagle Squadron, Royal Air Force, Biggin Hill, England, April 42. But that's wearing RAF roundels. So the Don Gentile version, what they do is they advise you on the underneath, on the right-hand side, so you turn it upside down, to actually mask off a darker area to make it look like the roundel's been painted over.
There's armour glass on that one.
There's armour glass on that one. So that's MDL. His one was MDT. And the number, I can't see what the serial number was on that one. But yeah.
I mean, the thing is, they're modding them all the time in real life anyway.
Well, that's what I'm going to go with, mate. That's what I'm going to go with. And actually, as always, most modelling is a history lesson for me. So I started digging into this guy and realised that he was like the ace of the aces. And then went on to fly Thunderbolts. And then, what did he go on to fly? Yeah, and then Mustangs after Thunderbolts. So, yeah, quite inspirational, really.
Very much so. So is Debden one of the airfields you visited, or is it on the to-do list?
Debden's obviously fighters. So I'm, as I've been banging on about for ages, been visiting Mighty 8th Heavy Bomber Group bases, and there are 41 on the list. And this weekend just gone. We were at, it's pronounced Debich or Debich. The spelling is Dabach, which is down in Suffolk. And that's one of the ones that's only open 6 times a year. So I visited that one. This coming weekend, I shall be visiting, which one? Old Buckingham, which is a Liberator, so second air division up in Norfolk.
You used to have a good cafe there.
Yes, they have. It's still there. And obviously they have the air show that's up there as well. I've got about 3 or 4 left out of the 41 to do. And yeah, it's been great. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to end the tour with a visit to Madingley Cemetery.
Nice.
And I've got a friend who I'm going to tap up who knows where any of the chaps are. He knows where all the grave positions are of men that were killed that were associated with bomb groups. So I'm going to go and see all of those and probably take my tissues with me, if I'm honest with you, that day.
Okay, so the Spit was actually flown by Second Lieutenant Don Gentile, 336th Fighter Squadron, 4th Fighter Group out of RAF Debden in Essex in October 1942, and every image that I have found from my very quick search all show it with the armoured glass.
Lauren, can I just share my screen a second?
Go for it.
Oh, look at that. Right, so you see where they blanked out the roundels?
Yeah.
They're painted over but that paint is a lot fresher, so that's what I've got to try and do. If that's a 48 scale one, that is a beautiful model, whoever did that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that was olive drab.
Yeah, that looks like the same kit.
They would probably have painted out the RAF markings with what they had on the base, so olive drab would have been more appropriate for an American station than with a RAF station, but they used reverse lend-lease for these Spits. So the Americans lent us money during the war with a program called Lend-Lease, so we could actually afford to buy the fighters. But the US Air Force needed fighters in Europe, so they basically bought them back, and that's how they operated the Spits.
Yeah. That Mark 5, that's got the Hispano-Suiza guns on it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got cannons, yeah.
So I'm learning the differences. A Spitfire is not a Spitfire, is not a Spitfire, is it?
So the Airfix instructions are wrong, Dan, because it does have the armoured windscreen.
So, yeah, sorry, Airfix. It looks like you've actually got that one wrong, because they definitely tell you to put part number 8 on. It's actually there in the instructions. It says part number 8 is the bit that needs to go on. And
To say, if you do get back into building, the Spitfire Revisited book from Trevor Snowden is exceptional because it tells you the differences.
well, I've got the Tamiya 32nd. I've got the Tamiya 32nd Mark 9C, and I've got the book, and I've got the resin door for it, and there's loads of extras in the box. Some of them I bought, but quite a few extras were in it when I bought it secondhand.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, the Spitfire Revisited book tells you all the different intricacies and all the different variations of the Spit. It's a brilliant book. So let us know.
Yeah. Funny enough, I was watching YouTube the other night of them doing startup procedures, and then the video with James Holland and Niall Murray when they went in the one at Duxford. And sadly, that's the chap that lost his life, isn't it? Who passed away, who flew it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Mr. Grace. Yeah.
Yeah, but on going back to the kit for a second, one essential add-on you need is the Barracuda control column. It makes such a difference for that Tamiya kit. Really does.
In that 32nd one?
Yeah, without question.
Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, I think I'm going to throw everything at that one when I can.
Yeah.
Edward's Brazzing cockpit for it, because that has everything.
Does it?
Except the control column. The control column that they haven't got in there, to the extent that the Barracuda one is.
There we go.
But anyway, okay. So you've actually going to be buying a whole load of Spitfires now, moving away from armour and ships and cars.
Yeah, Shane's building tanks. I've had enough of ships that I've not built yet. And the scale modelling world is flipping around yet again.
Or am I right in thinking that Littleport's doing a Spitfire competition as well at the show?
Yes. Sorry, we are having competition for best Spitfire as well. So, no, don't look round in your cabinet and go, oh, I think I'm going to take that. I'm not judging spit. So I am judging competition. I'm judging armor and, well, we shadow, me and another chap. So I do dioramas, he does armor, but we second each other in what we do as well to sort of get a second opinion and experience of doing it. It's the UK open style format where every model that's on the table at the show is entered into the competition, so to speak.
It's a brilliant way of doing it. It's so inclusive, and like the way that you guys approach it. As a punter there, and for the first time, we're actually going to have the Gundam SIG there as well, which I'm looking forward to setting up. That'll be good.
Yeah, can't wait. Yep, can't wait. You're going to be near us, Shane. You're going to be near the club table, but I'm going to be quite busy that day. It's the one show that people, I suppose, any clubs and SIGs out there that put a show on, you realise that when you do your own show, you don't actually get to, as Boulders will testify, you don't actually get to enjoy your own show. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Every other show you go to, you turn up, you take the models out of the boxes, set the table up and go, right, cup of tea and a bacon sandwich, anyone? Yeah, let's go. And everybody organises it. It's running around like a blue-ass fly. But yeah, it's worth it. As you know, Boulders, the more effort you put in, the better the day and as smooth as possible the day can be. And then people go, yeah, put us down for next year. And that's all you want to hear, isn't it? You know, and it keeps it growing, keeps it moving.
Yep, I've got 28 days. I've got 4 weeks left before we get the football fixtures, and then it all starts again.
Woohoo! Well, Brownie said we're only 6 months from. We're talking about Telford. There must be a Freudian slip there. We are only 6 months from Telford, aren't we? And that will be here before we know it. So 5 months now. Yeah.
And in a couple of episodes' time, we've got the exec committee from IPMS that will be on to actually launch the 2026 scale model world.
There we go.
So, yeah, was that episode 32, I think, is coming up? But yes, not long to go.
I've lost track, Brownie, what episode we're on. It's been mental for the last 6 weeks, recording stuff, and I just can't keep track.
Yeah, join my world. Okay, so is anyone going down to the Avon show? Because I'm going down for it.
When is it?
Because your branch, August? Well, you'll just have to listen to the rest of the episode, because IPMS Avon are coming on for a discussion in the IPMS dispatches a little bit later in the episode.
I'll have to listen to that then.
Indeed. And if you listen to the last episode, you'll hear all about Dan's show. Fair enough. Okay, with that, let's have a quick commercial break, and then we shall come back with the Stash Inflation Report.
Fishcop Models, elevating scale modeling to an art form. Experience highly detailed 3D printed upgrade parts that bring true authenticity to your builds. Creators of the acclaimed Rolls-Royce Merlin engine set for both the Kotare Spitfire and the Dambusters set for the Border Models Avro Lancaster. For bespoke design and printing, our service is as precise as it is personal, all at a reasonable price. Please take a look at our products on www.fishcopcompany.de. Shipping is available for all of our products worldwide.
Beyond the Box Art is proudly supported by Ammo by Mig Jimenez. The scale modelers supply guideline publications, phase hanger resin accessories, and Fishcop Model Company. Wallets trembling, shelf space gone, excellent. Here comes the latest wave of irresistible plastic temptation in the Stash Inflation Report.
Well, Benchmates, once again it's time for that part of the show that proves the stash isn't a collection problem, it's a retirement strategy. Welcome to another edition of the Stash Inflation Report, where we scour the modelling world looking for all the latest releases, upcoming kits and accessories that will inevitably find their way into your workshop despite your repeated promises that you're not buying anything else this month. And kicking things off in aviation, Kinetic have been busy with a couple of interesting announcements. First up is Kit 48175, the F-16X62 Vista testbed. For those unfamiliar with the aircraft, the X-62 is one of the most technologically advanced F-16 variants ever produced and has recently become famous for its role in AI-assisted flight testing and advanced systems development. Alongside that comes 48166, celebrating the 30th anniversary of the AMX. The AMX has always been one of those aircraft that seems to fly under the radar compared with some of its contemporaries. But it's an important aircraft in both Italian and Brazilian service, and should prove popular with Cold War and modern jet enthusiasts alike. Staying in 1/48 scale, there's an unusual announcement for fans of South American aviation. A new boxing of the FMA IA-58 Pucara, depicting the AX-04 prototype torpedo bomber, has been announced. This fascinating aircraft represented Argentina's attempt to create a maritime strike variant capable of carrying the Mark 13 torpedo. Although the project never entered operational service, it remains one of those delightfully obscure aviation what-ifs that modelers absolutely love. Another interesting subject heading our way is a 148th Mirage 2000 presented in Ukrainian markings. Given current events and the widespread interest in modern Ukrainian aviation, this will undoubtedly attract plenty of attention when it arrives. Moving on, Mung have announced what looks to be another superb addition to their growing 148th aircraft range. The new Boeing FA-18E Super Hornet Golden Dragons represents VFA 192 as currently deployed aboard the USS Carl Vinson. The kit measures an impressive 378mm in length when completed and includes highly detailed cockpit, positionable flying surfaces, interchangeable weapon pylons, laser-guided bombs, photo-etched details, paint masks and a pilot figure. The inclusion of both high visibility and low visibility squadron markings means builders have plenty of options when it comes to finishing the modern combat veteran. Moving down in scale, Hobartville Hobbies have announced their limited edition 172nd Australian Aircraft Consortium A10 Woomera kit. Priced at around $70 Australian, it's another one of those unusual Australian subjects that often disappear quickly once released, so it may be worth keeping an eye open if this fits your interest range. For fans of RAF heavies, Yark Resin have revealed that they're developing a 1/48th conversion set to create an early Boeing B-17C or D, better known to RAF enthusiasts as the Fortress Mark I. Designed for the venerable monogram, now Revell kit, this conversion is currently expected towards the end of 2027 and will finally allow builders to accurately portray the RAF's earliest operational fortresses. Heading over to Japan, Fine Molds have announced a special 172nd F-15J finished in the spectacular 201st Squadron 40th anniversary scheme. Japanese special markings rarely disappoint, and this one certainly continues that tradition. Special Hobby have announced a new 148th Martin Baltimore Mark 1 and 2, complete with 4 decal options. It's great to see another important but often overlooked RAF and Commonwealth type receiving modern tooling treatment. Academy continued their recent run of interesting announcements with a brand new tool F-18F in 1/48th scale announced, alongside a 135th Hughes 500 in Israeli Defence Force markings. The helicopter should make for a particularly eye-catching build, given the variety of operational schemes available. Meanwhile, Clearprop Models have announced a 172nd F-86A Sabre representing the early Korean War period. Given Clearprop's recent reputation for exceptional detail and accuracy, this one is likely to generate considerable interest amongst jet enthusiasts. Next up, Valum are releasing no fewer than 3 new boxings of their 1/144th Avro Anson. Builders will be able to choose between the civilian Mark 19, the RAF C-19 and the RAF T-21 training variant, giving fans of smaller scales a nice range of options for this classic British aircraft. And now for some late breaking news from Armour Hobby that is certain to interest fans of Second World War aviation. The Curtiss Hawk 81-A2 is one of the most recognisable versions of the famous Curtiss P-40 fighter family. Made legendary by the pilots of its American volunteer group, better known around the world as the Flying Tigers. With their distinctive shark mouth markings, combat operations over China, and their innovative tactics developed in the Far East, the Flying Tigers became one of the most iconic aviation units of the early war. Armour Hobby's forthcoming 1/72nd scale release will depict the Export Hawk 81-A2 aircraft, flown by the AVG in China between 1941 and 1942. These aircraft carried the distinctive camouflage scheme specified by British requirements and applied using American DuPont paints, a combination that continues to fascinate aviation historians and modelers alike. The kit will include 3 Flying Tigers marking options, with further details regarding decals, equipment and kit contents expected when pre-orders open. Following the success of Armour Hobby's excellent Curtis P-36 Hawk family, this release marks the next stage in the development of the company's early Curtis fighter range, and will become the first kit in an entirely new family covering the Curtis Hawk 81, Tomahawk 2, and P-40B/C. Pre-orders are currently planned for the summer of 2026, and I suspect more than a few Benchmates have just added another shark-mouthed aircraft to the wish list. So that's the aviation world wrapped up for another episode. If you've somehow managed to avoid adding at least one of these releases to your wish list, you're showing considerably more restraint than most of us. I'm now going to hand over to Dan, who's been busy keeping an eye on the latest developments in the world of armour. Take it away, mate.
Thanks, Brownie. Now, while you've been spending everybody's pension funds on aircraft, I'm pleased to report that the armour world has been doing its very best to keep pace. First up this episode is a reference book recommendation. Panzerex Publishing have announced Panzerex number 28 British from authors Lee Archer and Dick Taylor, with colour profiles from Philippe Ronda. Now, if you've ever picked up a Panzerex title before, you know these are not your typical military history books. The focus is very much on original wartime photographs, detailed research, and fascinating vehicle details that are absolute gold dust for modelers. This latest volume comes in a familiar landscape format, runs to 128 pages, and contains no fewer than 156 photographs alongside 6 colour artworks. As the title suggests, this volume focuses on British vehicles and subjects, making it a particularly useful addition for anyone with an interest in British armour, soft skins, and wartime references. It's available now from the Panzerex website with an introductory price of just £22.50, although that discount ends on the 30th of June. Moving on to plastic rather than paper, and Meng have announced a timely new release with their 1/35th scale Leopard 2A4 in Ukrainian service. Catalogue number TS-058. This release reflects one of the most significant armoured vehicle stories of recent years, with Leopard 2s now firmly established as part of Ukraine's battlefield inventory. The kit includes a dedicated Ukrainian marking option. Being a modern Meng armour kit, expectations are understandably high for detail, fit and overall quality. This one is currently expected in August 2026 and should prove popular with both modern armour builders and those wishing to depict contemporary conflict subjects. Next up, the team at Dynamo Models have officially launched a brand new dioramas range. Launching initially in 1/35th scale, the range already includes 6 different resin diorama bases designed specifically to showcase vehicles, figures, and small vignette scenes. The castings appear to carry the same level of detail we've come to expect from Dynamo's figure range, and the company has already confirmed that this is just the beginning, with additional scenery pieces, buildings, accessories, and historical settings already under development. And don't worry, I have hinted to them to do some 148 stuff too. A welcome addition from a company doing great things. And finally, a little bit of industry intelligence for you. Chris Meddings from ITA3, or Inside the Armour, has confirmed to us that upgrade sets are already in development for newly released Airfix Elvis FV603 Saracen Mark V. Any of the new tool post-war military vehicle releases from Airfix always seem to generate huge amounts of interest, and it won't surprise anyone that the aftermarket manufacturers are already looking at ways to have even more detail. No firm release dates just yet, but if you're planning to add the new Saracen to your stash, it may be worth keeping a little room in the budget for whatever Chris and the team have coming down the line. And that's all from the world of armour for this episode. Now I'm going to hand over to Nevs, who has once again emerged from the dockyards carrying enough naval releases to sink a reasonably sized destroyer. Take it away, mate.
Thanks, Dan. And while Dan has been busy tracking armour releases from every battlefield imaginable, I've once again been loitering around shipyards, naval dockyards and maritime museums, looking for anything that might tempt the naval builders amongst the benchmates. 3D Wild are releasing a 1:350th scale SS Atlantic conveyor. This famous container ship, which served as a makeshift floating airfield for Harrier jump jets during the Falklands War. The kit will be 3D printed and available in both full hull and waterline configurations. It will even feature the Harrier jets and Chinook helicopters, both covered in tarpaulins for their transit across rough seas to the Falklands Theatre. The kit is expected to retail for around $288 or £215 if you are here in the UK. Now for some special releases from Fujimi. The Japanese aircraft carrier sisters, Hear You and Saw You, are back in 1:700th scale. These existing toolings of the famous ships, which fought at Pearl Harbor and Midway, come in full hull configuration, and now they have been given a new lease of life with photo etch upgrades and stick-on wooden decks. All that's missing is an entire air wing to represent the veteran Japanese flyers who fought at these historic battles. But based on previous boxings, those included in the box shouldn't disappoint. Aircraft coming in multiple parts to recreate bombs, torpedoes, and their propellers. These two icons are expected to release in September and will cost between £30 and £40. Completing the recent lineup of Mogami-class cruisers from Fujimi, the Mikuma is receiving a fresh facelift in 1:700. This full hull release is expected by October 2026 and will cost in the region of £25 to £30. This kit will depict the Mikuma as she appeared at the height of the Japanese heavy cruiser force in 1942. Moving on, and for those who prefer their ships in considerably larger scales, Trumpeter have announced a 1:200th detail upset for the famous Fletcher-class destroyer, DD-445 Fletcher. The Fletcher-class needs very little introduction to naval enthusiasts. Arguably one of the most successful destroyer classes ever built, these ships served across virtually every theatre of the Second World War and continued operating long after the conflict had ended. This new detail package looks set to provide even more opportunities for super detailers to disappear down one of those rabbit holes where a quick weekend project somehow becomes a 6-month commitment. Next up, and this one will be of particular interest to fans of coastal forces, Starling Models have announced a new 1:350th scale Vosper 73-foot motor torpedo boat. These sleek and heavily armed coastal craft played an important role during the Second World War, carrying out patrol, interception, and attack missions in some of the most dangerous waters around the British coastline and beyond. Starling have built a superb reputation for producing highly accurate, small-scale naval subjects, so expectations are naturally high for this latest release. And that's all from the waterfront for this episode. I'm now going to hand over to Shane, who's been busy investigating the latest developments in the worlds of gunpla, mecha, and science fiction.
Thanks, Nevs. Mate, I do have to ask, are the dock security cards starting to get suspicious yet? Every fortnight, you seem to be lurking around the gates with a notebook, a microphone, and an increasingly long list of naval releases. One day, they're going to assume you're planning a launch or something of your own, rather than just buying it. Anyway, Benchmates, whilst Nevs has been emptying wallets on the waterfront, I've been taking a look at what's happening in the world of gunpla, mecha, sci-fi, and there are absolutely no signs whatsoever that our collective stashes are under control. First up, Good Smile Company have absolutely lost their minds, but in the best possible way, announcing what feels like an entire warehouse full of Metoroid releases. Among the highlights are Black Serena from the Aten, Master and Successor, Delphine 4th Form, Equus from Concrete Revolution, Avid from Evil Lord, Arcus, Enrico, Disnav, Man and Guardian, Ukhan, Torborn, Bushnell, and Arablast from Full Metal Panic, Kabutak, and perhaps most surprisingly of all, Pacific Rim's Gypsy Danger. As usual with Metroid, release dates and pricing are still to be confirmed, but if you're a fan of anime mecha, giant robots, or anything that can level a city block while looking stylish, there probably is something that this list. But if you're a fan of anime mecha, giant robots, or anything that can level a city block while looking stylish, there is probably something in that list that has already found its way into your wish list. Moving on, and for those who enjoy a little Universal Century goodness, GB Toys have announced the HG-144 gun tank early type from The Origin. Originally released in 2015, this kit remains one of the most mechanically interesting entries into the range, featuring realistic tread assemblies, elevating main guns, complete with working hydraulic pistons and opening cockpit hatch. It's expected later this year. For around £20, it looks like a solid addition to the Gundam fans and should offer plenty of detail straight from the box. Next up is one for the third-party Gundam crowd. The band have announced the MG Strike Rouge. Now, the band kits have generated a little discussion online, but this one is attracting attention thanks to its pre-painted finish, upgraded alloy inner frame, and some rather aggressive styling choices compared to the original design. Pricing is still to be confirmed, but if you like your mobile suit with a bit more attitude and plenty of metal hidden underneath the armour, this could be worth keeping an eye on later this year. Meanwhile, Bandai are continuing their mission to prove that absolutely everything can become a model kit, with the announcement of Super Space Sheriff Affinity Minipla Volume 3 Final Train Mecha. Wow, that was a sentence I never thought I'd say out loud. This snap fit kit uses metallic and glitter infused plastics and require no tools whatsoever for assembly, making it a fun and accessible build for collectors and nostalgia fans alike. Expected in August, with a likely price somewhere between £30 and £40. And finally, for the Transformer fans amongst the benchmates, Takara Tomy have unveiled the Overgear G03 Optimus Prime. Now, it's part of the Overgear range, and it takes a familiar Autobot leader and reimagines him through a much more realistic military mecha lens, complete with industrial armor plating, heavy-duty weaponry, and a design language that feels closer to modern science fiction than the Saturday morning cartoon. Now, this one's due for release in February 2027, and is expected to retail somewhere between £100 and £120. It certainly isn't cheap, but it does look seriously impressive. So then, Benchmates, we've covered new kits, aftermarket goodies, upgrades, accessories, and enough plastic to keep most of us busy until at least 2047. We've probably added a few more items to our wish lists along the way as well. Now, normally, this would be the point where we'd disappear for a brew, but this time things are a little different, because Beyond the Box Art has something important that we would like to share with the modelling community. I'm going to hand you straight back to Brownie for a very special announcement. Brownie, over to you.
Cheers, Shane. Before we move on, we'd like to take a moment to talk about something that's become very important to all of us here on the show. As you'll hear very shortly in our interview with Oleksii, the realities of operating a scale modelling company in Ukraine remain incredibly challenging. Despite that, Reskit and many other Ukrainian manufacturers continue to design, develop and produce some of the finest products available anywhere in our hobby. The scale modelling community has always been at its best when it comes together to support fellow modellers, regardless of where they live, the subjects they build or the circumstances they face. With that in mind, we're delighted to announce the launch of our Ukrainian Community Support Initiative. This isn't a sponsorship program, a commercial partnership, or a fundraising exercise. Quite simply, it's our way of using the platform we've built to help shine a spotlight on the talented companies, designers and modellers who continue to keep the hobby alive and thriving in Ukraine. Over the coming months, we'll be providing regular coverage of Ukrainian manufacturers, highlighting new releases, sharing their stories, promoting their products, and helping ensure that the wider modelling community remains aware of the incredible work they're doing under extraordinary difficult circumstances. Our first participant is Reskit, whose passion, innovation and determination have earned them a deserved reputation as one of the world's premier aftermarket manufacturers. We'd like to thank Oleksii and the entire Reskit team for their openness, honesty and friendship, and we're proud to be able to support them in this small way. After all, modelling isn't just about plastic kits, resin parts and paint. It's about people. And sometimes the best thing a community can do is stand alongside its friends. So with that in mind, here's the latest update from Reskit and their first release bulletin from the Ukrainian Modelling Initiative. So with that in mind, here's the latest update from Reskit and the first update from the Ukrainian Community Support Initiative. So if you've been wondering whether the team near Kyiv have been taking things easy recently, the answer is a very definitive, emphatic no. June sees another huge wave of releases covering aircraft, helicopters, armour and figures across multiple scales. Starting in 132nd, Carrier Aviation fans are getting 2 new sets of US Navy flight deck crew. The new yellow jersey sets depict aircraft directors, handlers, catapult officers and arresting gear specialists, available in both left and right side marshalling positions. Staying in 132nd, Reskit are releasing highly detailed Junkers Umo 004 engine sets for both the Tacom and Zukimura Horton HO 229 kits. Both builders giving builders the opportunity to fully expose the revolutionary Flying Wings power plants. Thunderbolt enthusiasts are particularly well served this month, with dedicated upgrades packages for both our P-47D and P-47M. These include corrected propellers, beautifully detailed Pratt & Whitney R2800 engines, and replacement engine cowlings, bringing substantial boosts in detail to what are already popular kits. Moving into 148 scale, and perhaps the biggest headline release is a comprehensive family of upgrades for Tamiya's superb F-35B Lightning II. Builders can choose between basic and detailed cockpit sets, both designed to dramatically enhance the already impressive Tamiya kit. Complementing these are separate open canopy and closed canopy frame upgrades, allowing builders to accurately portray the aircraft in either configuration. The F-16 community is also receiving significant attention. Reskit are releasing both basic and detailed cockpit sets for the Kinetic Gold F-16C Block 52 Plus in Polish and Hellenic Air Force service. Whilst USAF operators are covered through dedicated basic and detailed sets for the Block 50 and Block 52 variants. For A-10 fans, you're not being left out. There are 2 particularly interesting releases. First is a transport dolly set complete with an engine and 4 service crew members, ideal for creating a maintenance diorama. Secondly, Great Wall Hobby A-10 builders will be able to add a completely reworked wheelbase set packed with additional detail. I know where some of my wages are going this month. Moving on, British aviation enthusiasts should be delighted to hear that the Airfix Jaguar GR1 and GR1A are receiving dedicated basic and detailed upgrade sets as well for the cockpit, helping bring this important RAF strike aircraft to an even higher standard. The Horton HO 229 appears again, this time in 148 scale, with a scaled-down Umo 004 engine designed for the Zukimura kit. For larger flying boat fans, Reskit are tackling long-standing issues with the Catalina family through a corrected tail assembly and new corrected rear engine nacelles suitable for the Revell, Monogram and Edward kits. Phantom builders haven't been forgotten either. New metal and 3D printed landing gear sets complete with weighted wheels are arriving for both Hasegawa and Academy F4B/N Phantom 2 kits, providing additional strength as well as enhanced detail. Helicopter modelers are particularly well catered for this month, with the CH-53 and MH-321. For the CH-53 and MH-53 family, there are 2 new weapon packages, one featuring the GAU-16 Browning M2HB system and another featuring the more modern GAU-21 FN M3M installation, both complete with ammunition feed systems. The ICM Black Hawk family receives what can only be described as a major upgrade program. New releases include folded main rotors, unfolded main rotors, replacement tail rotors, corrected exhausts, and fully exposed T700 engines, with open nacelles for a wide range of Seahawk and Black Hawk variants, including the SH-60, MH-60, HH-60, and UH-60s. Moving down to 1/72nd scale, and the carrier deck crews once again feature strongly, with left and right position yellow jersey sets are becoming available. Helicopter builders can add a new exhaust and transmission cover upgrade to the Airfix Wessex HC2, while jet enthusiasts gain new cockpit upgrades for both the A10A and A10C Thunderbolt 2 from Great Wall Hobby. The Tamiya F-35B also receives a cockpit upgrade in 72nd scale, with other releases including new exhaust nozzles for the Hasegawa F111F and a replacement exhaust for the Fine Mold's F104J Starfighter. In 1/35th scale, helicopter subjects continue to dominate. Apache builders can now add a set of weighted Type 2 wheels, with Seahawk fans receiving new exhaust systems and a folding tail conversion suitable for the Kitty Hawk and Zimmy model kits. The impressive ICM CH-54A Tahe is also receiving attention through a detailed radio equipment compartment upgrade. For those wanting a little more life in their displays, a second version includes 3 technician figures working within the compartment. Finally, we move into the armour world, where Reskit's AV range continues to expand rapidly. The Merkava Mark III received new front and rear fenders, open stowage bins, battle damage fender options, and comprehensive exterior detail sets for both the Mung and Hobby Boss kits. The Merkava Mark IV family receives an even larger selection of upgrades, including rubber-tired road wheels, steel road wheels, battle-damaged wheel sets, multiple machine gun configurations for both Mung and Hobby Boss kits, a replacement MG253 120mm gun barrel, and a fully workable late pattern track set complete with sprockets and idler wheels. Meanwhile, for those building the iconic Volkswagen Kubelwagen, Reskit are releasing an extensive range of wheel and tyre combinations covering both off-road and desert options, with multiple tread patterns and front torsion bar options available. And that's just June. As always, every one of these sets is produced using Reskit's exceptionally high-quality 3D printing technology, and once again demonstrates why the company remains one of the most innovative and prolific aftermarket manufacturers anywhere in the modelling world today.
Do you want cutting-edge detail for your kits? Then take a look at Phase Hanger Resin Accessories, run by USAF veteran Mike Reeves. With real-world aircraft experience as a crew chief, Mike knows exactly where accuracy counts. And today, he's bringing that knowledge to life with precision 3D printed parts. From seamless intakes and nozzles to dropped flaps, pods, pylons, and cockpit upgrades, Phase Hanger's prints capture the crisp edges and fine detail that limitations in injection molding just can't reproduce. From 1/72nd to 1/32nd scale, you'll find add-ons from Cold War classics to the latest frontline jets, with frequent new additions to the product range. Every piece is designed by modelers, for modelers, and faithfully reproduced on state-of-the-art printers and shipped worldwide, and are ready to drop straight into your next build. With additions to the product line landing all the time, there's always something fresh to elevate your next build. Explore the full range at phasehangerresin.com and follow Phase Hanger on Facebook and Instagram for regular updates and inspiration. Phase Hanger Resin Accessories, authentic detail designed with a veteran's eye and available to modelers everywhere. Phase Hanger is a proud sponsor of the Beyond the Box Art podcast.
Head to beyondtheboxart.com for host bios, guest features, and direct links to all our social channels. Your central hub for staying connected. Welcome to IPMS Dispatches, bringing you society news, upcoming events, and a friendly spotlight on branches and special interest groups across the IPMS community.
For this edition of the IPMS Dispatches, I am joined by Andy White from IPMS Avon. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Welcome. And for the listeners who may not know about IPMS Avon, can you tell us a little about the branch, where you meet, what sort of modelling interests your members enjoy?
So we're IPMS Avon, and we're basically a Bristol-based model club. We meet at the Bower Club, which is the old British Airways Workers Association club, just around the corner from the Filton Airbus Works. So we meet there on the third Wednesday of every month. It's a great venue. We're fortunate enough to have a very large meeting room with our own bar, which is always an asset. Most people seem to do the same reaction as you when they find out that our meeting room has got its own bar. So we meet on the third Wednesday of every month. And yes, we roughly, sort of members-wise, we sort of fluctuate between early 60s, and when it's really good, we get up to around 70. Members-wise, coming to club nights, it's not uncommon to have 40 plus, average around 40 coming to club nights. Interest-wise, well, I think like many other clubs, we are fortunate enough that we do have a very varied interest in modelling. There's a very healthy number of armour modellers and aircraft modellers. So we do have a modeller who does the Gundam we were talking about, and Sean is his name, and he gave us a very interesting talk last year at a club night on the Gundam modelling. It was absolutely fascinating. It's something I knew nothing about at all, but it was a really fascinating talk, and it was really good to hear somebody talk about that passion, of a modelling genre, I would say, which probably isn't as common as some of the other modelling interests. We do have a few ship modellers and cars as well. There's quite a few build cars, and personally myself, I build aircraft, but civil aircraft, so I'm most definitely a modelling minority and get plenty of ribbing for it. But so that's all part of the fun of being in the club. So the club was, I've been told, we think it was established back in 1982. So that's the best we can do as far as records is concerned. I do believe that from some of the older club members, some of the original members, it was originally IPMS Bristol, and then it kind of like split, and another Bristol-based modelling club was formed, and then IPMS Avon was formed from that. And it's been going from strength to strength ever since.
So you haven't gone down the route of the same as the county, disappearing and become North Somerset and South Gloucestershire?
Well, no, we kept Avon. That's true. I mean, when it was formed, Avon was that big county, and we've kept it. It's a catchy, simple name, and most people know that we're in the Bristol area. And of course, our annual show is just north of Bristol as well. So I don't think we would ever change our name. It's an easy one, and the logo looks quite simple in the sort of suspension bridge-esque kind of sort of writing. So yeah, it's good. Everything's well.
Okay, so for visitors that want to come along to the branch for the first time, what can they expect to see, or are you looking for new members?
Always looking for people to come along and join. So like I said before, we do meet on the third Wednesday of every month.
At what time?
It's from 7:30. People turn up, and we generally kick off proceedings around 8:10-ish. And we just start off with what's colloquially known as the parish notices, where we talk about up and coming shows and other stuff that people really need to know about. It's out to the club to see if anyone else wants to raise anything. And then the question is whether we have a particular theme or something going on that evening, or whether we have what's known as a social night. So we generally try to mix, and I think we've got a good mix of actual themes where we would encourage members to give a talk on a subject or perhaps a show they might have been to, and also just evenings where people bring along their stuff, put them on the tables to look at, and it's an opportunity just for everyone to get together and chat. Because I think whilst it's great to have the themes and have the presentations, it is important as well that we do actually get time just to socialise with each other, and especially for the newer members, because if you have a theme and you might not actually have the time to go and meet people. So we're lucky with that. We have an annual competition as well every March, which is run within the club. We just keep it as the one competition a year. We think that's sufficient. We have a Christmas buffet, which is funded by the club as well, which is well received. Yeah, and like I say, a really good variety of presentations. We have a very good meeting room. It's got great facilities. It's got projectors and screens and everything. And actually, it's got a microphone which goes out through the speakers in the roof. So if you want to...
That's helpful.
Well, it is actually, because, if people can't hear too well, you just give your presentation with the mic as well. So, yeah.
Okay, moving on then. You have a superb annual show which has been going for many years. Out of curiosity, how many years has the show been going for?
36 this year. Started in 1990 in Bath. Yeah, and we were actually chatting about this other day because club member who was really the driving force and the inspiration behind this, Andy Stewart, sadly died last month. And I was a member back then. I just joined, and it was 1989, and we were having a chat at the club night, probably about sort of 10, 15 members or so back then. And it was basically, should Avon run a show? And it was like, wow, we're going to do this. Where's the money going to come from, And it was, I vaguely remember the conversation, and in the end, we managed to scrape together in the club funds, enough money to run it, and we chose the Bath Pavilion as our venue, and it was a success. I think that all the tables must have been there in the pavilion, so we wouldn't have had that overhead. The catering was done by the wives and girlfriends, the Avon Wags, I suppose, is probably the people did that. And so we kept our overheads down to a minimum. And it worked really well. And we actually chose August because at the time, we looked through the show calendar, which was not nearly as crowded as it is today. And basically looked at what shows there were and where there was a gap. And that was our logic. We need to find a month when nowhere else is having a show, so at least people will turn up. So August it was, and August it's been ever since. And nowadays it's normally almost exclusively the first Sunday in August. And so we marketed it as the summer show. And one of the things we're worried about, well, is everybody on holiday? So is people going to come? So that was one of our initial worries, but it proved to be completely unfounded. And we've always had, good turnout of people. So Bath it was for about 10 years, I think it was. And then success was at the venue. And again, we started looking for somewhere new. And I think it was about 10 years later, we then moved to Yate, which is a town north of Bristol in South Gloucestershire. And they had a much larger sports hall there, which we run that show again, I think roughly for about 10 years. I've got some better dates in my mind now. I know we were at Yate up until 2012. And by that time, we had, again, reached capacity. We had one large sports hall and a side room, but people weren't particularly keen on being in that side room. And we had another room for the competition. And then we got to the stage where it was like, well, we would like to expand, but how do we go about it? I mean, when we left Yate, I think for the last show, I've got the old plan here in front of me. We had 40 clubs and 24 traders, which is good, but we needed to expand. But the question, I think, so the next sort of question for us was, well, where are we going to go? Where can we expand to, which has the capacity and which is within our sort of financial capability as well? And then one of our club members was also a war gamer. Tim Trolley was his name, who also has sadly died. And he was on the committee as well. And we basically sat down and I said to Tim, what do you think of the possibility of having a combined model show and wargaming show? And he goes, well, I think it's a possibility. So I said, well, you've got to appreciate that, we as on the committee, we don't really know a lot about wargaming, but do you know maybe a wargaming club who might be interested in joining forces with us? And we run this together. So you mentioned Pendleton-Brown Model Club, which is in North Bristol. And so we all got together one evening in one of our committee meetings and talked it through. And we thought, this could be a go. And the other thing as well is that we thought that Thornbury, where we are now, where we ended up moving in 2013, was the two large sports halls, which are interlinking, which you probably remember from the time last year. And it's like, well, that's quite a step up in capacity. Are we going to be able to fill it? And we thought, well, actually, I think we have a very good chance of being able to fill it if we run it as a combined modelling and wargaming show. So we were kind of really going into unknown territory, but we had the backing of Pendleton-Brown Wargaming Club, who thought it was a goer. And then 2013, we ran the show at Thornbury as a combined modelling and wargaming show. There was, there were some people in the Avon Club who were very sceptical about whether it was going to work and whether the concept would be a good one, but it worked really well. I was super surprised because by this stage, I got involved in inviting clubs and traders. There was a colleague of mine, Alan Roffey, who was doing doing the show manager job and doing the plans, etc. And the wargaming interest was fantastic. So that was how we ran it. And I think one of the reasons why it was also successful when we started off was that when Alan did with the table plans, we didn't actually have a unique area for wargaming. We actually embedded wargaming within modelling in both the halls. And that has continued to this day. And obviously now we've expanded into Hall 3. So yeah, absolutely chuffed. And people came up and said, you know what, this is really good. The concept of mixing the two really works. And it was like, oh, phew, because I didn't know if it was going to work out all right. And one of the fascinating things is that some of the traders on that first show were coming up to me going, oh, this is brilliant. Because some of the traders who were wargaming traders by nature had said, oh, all these modelers are coming up and buying all my stock. Because they'd never seen them before at shows. These modelers hadn't, because everyone had been very much in their own parochial world. Wargamers go to wargaming shows, and traders and modeling traders go to model shows, and so they were very pleased that it had a whole new custom base, I suppose. So there we go, and so that's where we've been since 2013, and I think it was 3 years later, we actually decided to take on the third hall as well. So again, it was like, let's fill the hall. It was almost the same question. Oh, we've got another big hall. How are we going to fill it? So we actually moved the competition from upstairs into the back of that hall, which we now call Hall 3. And I heard about some radio-controlled tank people. Invited them along. So they actually need quite a big space. So we actually managed to fill Hall 3 in first go. I think some of the people who were in Hall 3 back in 2015 or wherever it was might remember the clanking of the guns and the tracks of all the radio-controlled tanks going around. It was pretty loud.
Yeah.
And we think we had them for a couple of years, and then again, the capacity was there. We actually said to them, sorry, we can't fill you in anymore. We've got all these model clubs and traders who want to come. Yeah, so we've got to a stage where we actually managed to fill all 3 halls with modelling wargaming, and had to sadly say goodbye to the RC tank people. And then the competition also moved out of the 3 halls.
Yeah.
So this year, 2026, we've actually, for the first time, we've actually had to say to model clubs, we've actually had to tell them we had to restrict the amount of tables that they can have. We've got to a stage now where the capacity, sadly, almost demand outstrips capacity. So, which is a shame, because I would love to fit in more people and give them as much table space as they want, but
logistics,
it doesn't happen. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's where we are today.
Okay. So where is the venue and what is the date?
So the venue, it is Sunday, the 2nd of August, and it is at the Thornbury Leisure Centre, which Thornbury is a town northwest of Bristol, which is easily accessible, and there's plenty of parking.
Near the Almondsbury interchange.
Yeah, Almondsbury interchange if you're coming from the south or east, and probably maybe even from the west, but if you're coming from the north, you come off at the junction a bit further up, and then you take the 38 down, and then it takes you into Thornbury. So 9 o'clock is open to the public, and we finish at 4, and we have an open competition, and we do the prize giving at 3:30, and then that basically kind of neatly wraps up the show.
Okay. So for anyone who hasn't been to the show before, and I must admit last year was my first year, 54 years of living just up the road from the event, and I moved to the other end of the country, and that's when I decided to go for the first time, which it was an absolutely superb venue. Hats off to you for actually finding that one. What can attendees actually look forward to this year then?
Well, it's exactly the same mix of modelling and modelling clubs, SIGs and special interest groups and wargaming. I mean, if we're looking at a very broad picture of the show, I would say that display-wise, model clubs and SIGs take up about 3/4, and 1/4 is taken up by gaming clubs. For those into gaming, the games that they play can be, if you go onto the show page of our website, we actually update what games the clubs are playing, and they do a mixture of participation and demonstration, which is all words that I hadn't known much about before getting into organising wargaming.
Yeah.
We tell them they can play exactly what they want. And when we first started doing the gaming, they were going, well, what do you want us to play? And I said, well, you have your table space. You are there for the whole day. You can do exactly what you want as long as you have a good time. So I think we've got, so club-wise, we've got so far 83 clubs and special interest groups booked, which is good. We're up from last year, I think, and there's still some of our regulars who haven't booked, so we'll have to chase them. I think we had 83 last year, and we're currently up to 84. That's it, 84 clubs. Gaming clubs, we're 9 so far, which is an increase of 2 from last year. And traders, we have a large variety of traders. We had 39 last year, and we're currently up to 35. So,
Little bit of space.
yeah, still a bit of space. Yeah, so 3 large halls, and then there's catering there as well. So if you want to buy refreshments, and an acorn competition upstairs, which is above the entrance hall when you come in. So everyone's more welcome to enter that. So it's one of the good things we find about the combination of having the gaming and the modelling is that the gaming goes on all day. There have been times in previous years where it's been sort of 4 o'clock and they're gaming, and I've gone around and said, excuse me, the show's finished. but that's the great thing about it, is that there's something going on all the time, and
Yes.
you've got this interaction and the movement and stuff, and the gamers just love just being able to game all day. And then of course you have got the gaming traders, or the traders which are of interest to them, so they can go and visit them and spend some cash as well. So yeah, that's generically what you're going to see.
Okay, so for those that are looking to actually attend the show or are interested in joining the branch, where can they find the information online?
Yes, so ipm.org, I do believe, off the top of my head, is our website. And there is a link to the show if you click on the tab, and it will have all the details of the show, the address, the location, the prices to get in, £6 for adults and free for children. And it will also have a list of all the attending clubs, special interest groups and traders. So if you're actually wanting to see if there's a particular trader or a club there, then you can check on the list, which is updated regularly. I think there's about 4 or 5 more I need to add, but our webmaster adds that, but it's pretty much up to date at the moment.
Okay, and just before everyone starts to write in, it's ipmsavon.org.uk.
I thought there might be a UK at the end.
I thought I'd better just check.
Definitely.
Okay, Andy, all the best for the show. Please give our regards to the rest of the branch, and we look forward to seeing you in August. And for those who haven't been to the show before, it is well worth the visit. And on that note, have you actually thought of ever going for a 2-day rather than just a single day?
Yes, we have. And it was a conversation that came up a couple of years ago from one of our attendees. And we did talk it through, and the reality is that because we're involved in setting up and taking down, and we are getting older, I think it's probably just beyond the capacity of us. And if we were going to do a 2-day show, it would completely change the way we look at it from a financial point of view. We looked at it and we kind of rejected it. I just don't think we have the capacity to run it as a 2-day, unless we get some kind of help coming in from further afield. But at the moment, it's just beyond us, I think, sadly. But yeah.
Okay, well, something just sparked in the background, thinking about what the IPMS Nationals in the States is doing this year, in that instead of a branch running it, it's multiple branches that have actually come together.
Yeah.
So the potential you could get dust off those in Swindon and Calne to actually come and actually join you, perhaps in force, and do
yeah.
With the Southwest.
I mean, obviously, we reinvented ourselves back in 2013 when we introduced wargaming, so we're always looking to think about ways of doing something differently, and maybe that's something this year we've managed to get lighter tables, which give us a lot of help in actually setting up. So that's the first step in addressing the aging population of the LPMS Avon Club. But we are acutely aware that time's moving on and we're not getting much younger, and we're going to have to think about how we actually physically get the show set up and taken down again. That's something definitely to consider in the future.
Okay, Andy, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure. Very nice to speak to you.
As I said, look forward to seeing you in August.
Yes. Well,
and hopefully our audience will make the effort to actually come down and visit you as well.
Yes, look forward to seeing everybody there. It's, as you say, it's a fun day. It's a tiring day for us, but you'll enjoy it if you could come down to the show.
Without question. Andy, thanks very much.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.
Are you looking for top quality paints for your next project? Then look no further than the Scale Modeler Supply. Hi, I'm Scott, and as a passionate modeler myself, I've spent years creating the SMS product range, designing them specifically with a Scale Modeler in mind. We've worked extensively to develop our acrylic lacquer paint range to not only be airbrush ready straight out of the bottle, but also to be very easy to use so that anyone of any skill level can create professional results with minimal effort. Just give the bottle a good shake, pour into your airbrush and spray at 15 psi. So dive into your next project with confidence, knowing that you're backed by one of the finest hobby paints on the market. Head over to our website scalemodeler.com.au to check out our full range and to find your closest retailer.
It's time for the Guideline Publications monthly magazine update with what's coming up in the July mags with John Tabiner.
Hello Benchmates, John Tabiner here from Guideline Publications, giving you a rundown on what you'll find in the July editions of both Scale Aircraft Modelling and Military Modelcraft International, both of which will have hit the news shelves by the time this drops. That's Thursday the 18th of June. Or, of course, if you're a subscriber, the day before. And to subscribe, don't remember, just head on over to guidelinepublications.co.uk, take out a subscription, and you'll have the magazine waiting on your doormat before anybody else can get down to the newsagents. So, Scale Aircraft Modelling this month. This is, of course, the July edition, as opposed to last month's June edition, which we are all calling the April Special Edition now. Sorry about that one.
Oopsie.
So, kicking off July, John Bryan brings us the Kitty Hawk 148 scale Bell UH-1N Twin Huey, riveted to hell and back and finished in a US Navy engine grey scheme, which really shows off all that work. And it's a fantastic bit of modelling from John, but what else would you expect? In 1/32 scale, for the next feature, we move up to the Messerschmitt BF-110D, but this time converted to a G4 by Gordon Scott using the AIMS conversion set, and finished, of course, as a Luftwaffe. Mario Sorel drops the scale down to 1/72 scale next with the Academy Curtiss P-40M, finished as a Brazilian Air Force home defense interceptor from the mid-1940s. As ever, it's a Warhawk, so it has a huge sharp mouth on the chin, and it's a great piece of painting and modelling by Mario. We get our feet wet for the next feature, where Hugh Morgan builds Special Hobbies 1/48 scale Sopwith Schneider. This was the floatplane version of the Sopwith Tabloid, that rather handsome little pre-World War I biplane that sort of cemented Sopwith's reputation. We keep a nautical theme for the next feature. Andrea Brenko builds the SBS 1/72 scale resin Macchi MC72. This was Italy's unsuccessful attempt to prevent Great Britain from retaining the Schneider Trophy in the 1930s. Twin-engine, counter-rotating propellers, radiators festooned all over the wings, finished, of course, in bright red because it's Italian. It's a lovely kit, and he does it full justice. One of my favourites features in this month's Aircraft in Profile, and I say that because I wrote it. The RAF's finest fighter bomber, the Hawker Typhoon, brought to you in all its glory, with profiles, of course, by our excellent illustrator Sam Pearson. There is also honourable mention in this short article of the Hawker Tornado, the Vulture-powered sister aircraft. This month's Colour Conundrum sees Paul Lucas look at the short Seamew MR2. a rather ungainly naval anti-submarine aircraft from the 1950s, which Paul does his usual magic with, explaining colour schemes and also potential RAF colour schemes for when they were thinking of using it. There is a 1/72nd scale build of the Sword Models Seamew in this edition too by Tony Grand. So you've got both reference and modelling on this rather ugly little thing. Actually, I think it's quite a nice looking aircraft, but I like things like that. Speaking of things which aren't ugly though, in 1/32nd scale we have Luftgraff's de Havilland DH-89A next, built by Jim Howard, probably better known as the Rapide. Again, an absolutely fantastic looking interwar twin-engine biplane passenger aircraft, which Jim does full justice to. Really, really good article, that one. And finally, Bill Clark rounds off the magazine by producing one of the slightly lesser known versions of the North American Sabre. This, of course, is the Commonwealth Aircraft Corporation CA-27 Sabre. That's the Avon-engined version that the Australians shoved a couple of Aden cannon in. And Struth, Christ, strike a light, mate. Grease lightning. Interestingly, it saw service in the Vietnam War, acting as an airfield defence interceptor with the Royal Australian Air Force. As a final feature, which is not actually aircraft related, but will be of interest to plenty of people, Dave Smith presents his feature on modelling World War II airfield buildings. This features a range of modelling subjects in a range of materials, and is a very, very, very interesting round-off to the magazine. Finally, honourable mention to the next war paint title, which is due soon. If your interests lie in World War I heavy bombers, you will be very excited to learn that coming soon, Warpaint 153 is all about the Handley Page night bombers, the O100, the O400 and the V1500. This promises to be a fantastic reference on these very, very well-known but somewhat undercovered types. And you can buy the Warpaint titles, of course, from the Guideline Publications website. So, moving on to the July edition of Military Modelcraft International, that's issue 357, which again will be in the shops as this episode drops, or of course, on your doormat the day before if you take out a subscription at guidelinepublications.co.uk. This month's issue sees editor David Grummett deliver the usual range of scales, subjects and approaches to the hobby. For small-scale modelers, David starts with an examination of 3R Models 1/72nd Striker, together with plenty of reference material, and that looks like a rather challenging project for him. Staying with 1/72nd scale, doyen of small-scale armour Alex Clark builds Ukrainian firm X-Scales French FCM-50T heavy tank. That was a post-war design which was a rival to the AMX 50T, and it has that typically weird French kind of old-fashioned looking set of tracks. We move up to 1/48 scale for the next feature. Ramon Segarra builds Tamiya's latest M8 HMC, and as ever, Ramon does it full justice with some excellent painting and finishing. Regular contributors return in this month's issue with work in the ever-popular 1/35th scale. Chris Johnson has the cover with his build of Ryfield Model's new M50 Super Sherman, while Łukasz Orzialek, I hope I got your name right, Łukasz, takes a deep breath and jumps in to build Bronco Model's Humber armoured car. Matt Edwards returns with a Market Garden themed diorama based on Academy's recent Panther Aus G as well. The At the Bench feature this month is back as they chat to American modeller Matt Reeves about the connection between his military service and his interests in the hobby. While Armour in Profile this month is a rather timely look at the US light tank, the M24, which coincides with the new 1/35th scale release from Tamiya, and of course the 1/16th scale model from Gecko, all of which of course are the ever popular Chaffee, as it's more better known. To provide some inspiration for this, there's also a build from a decade or so ago of the old AFV Club M24 by Domingo Hernandez and Juanma Vergara. Finally, the issue completes with a roundup of some of the best models from the recent Mozon show in Hungary. As ever, it's a potpourri of armour, and it's a right tankingly good read. And that concludes the updates for this month's two main SAM magazines. I shall be back next time with some details on the next issue of Model Car, Motorcycle and Truck, which I'm just compiling. And I might also have some info on Toy Soldier Collector, another magazine in the guideline range. That's it. Happy modelling and see you soon.
Head over to modelpodcast.com and explore the best modelling podcasts available today. A worldwide podcast hub curated by Stuart Clark from the Scale Model Podcast. Joining us from near Kyiv in Ukraine, Reskit CEO Oleksii Ukhan shares the remarkable story behind one of modelling's most respected aftermarket companies during wartime.
Right then, Benchmates, we are joined by Oleksii Ukhan from Reskit in Kyiv, Ukraine. And I must admit, this is a conversation I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Oleksii, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, for listeners who may only know Reskit through the aftermarket world today, where and when did the company actually begin? And what was your original vision for the company?
I start with a little backstory. There are three owners of Reskit. Before the company was founded, I had my own design studio, focusing mostly on the visual branding of food products and restaurants. My second partner, Dmitry, worked in irrigation systems and landscaping. And our partner, Andriy, worked with me in the design studio. Around in 10 or more years ago, I met Dmitry in Dnipro city in Ukraine in modeling exhibition. And we begin be friends. And after a few years, Dmitry decided to open a small production line for molds in resin and for some kind of resin orders, like for aftermarket, but for other brands. And we have this small production more than 2 years. And after 2 years, we decided to work in our own trademark and name it Reskit and begin produce our products like wheels and weapons. It was in 2015, We begin almost after the war with Russia started, when it was start of our company. Like that. We have one client from Germany who order aftermarket from us, and we learn all technology and process for this and decide to open our own products.
Okay, so you had someone who worked in gardening, someone who worked in food.
Yeah.
How did you find out the interest in modeling?
I'm modeling, and I have a big warehouse of my own models, and I love aftermarket of other brands. But all aftermarket company I don't have parts for my models in these companies, and we decide to open a company to produce aftermarket for our models, what we want. I am and Dmitry.
Got you. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so Reskit has built a reputation for incredibly high detailed resin and 3D printed accessories. What was the moment when you realized the company had moved from small aftermarket producer into a globally recognized brand?
I think it's happened when our products started being discussed on forums around the world, and French bloggers begin reaching out to us themselves. We realized the scale of it when the volume of wholesale order exceeded to our product's capacity. I remember walking around the office and asking my deputy, who is all these peoples? Once the company grow over 100 employers, I don't know everyone employers in our company, but right now I know everyone. It was very complicated to know each people by name because it's 5 years ago, when full-scale war was begin, we have only 35 employers. Right now, we have more than 100 employers.
Wow.
It's big job from this for these 5 years. Yeah, maybe 5.
That's a massive increase.
Yeah.
That is a massive increase. I say, Ukraine has faced unimaginable and unnecessary challenges over the last 5 years. How has operating during an ongoing war changed day-to-day life for the company and the people behind it?
It's a very complicated question because we have many problems right now, and we have many employers who go to war. And in last months, 4 people from our company go to army.
Mm-hmm.
And we have big problems with employers right now because we can't find new employers. And someone from our people go to army himself, but someone have problems with documents and don't go to army to update their documents, and they have been captured by our army. And right now, people working in army, many of our employers is very happy work with army right now, because when they catch the people was very scared. But right now, people work for our victory. It's very complicated because this winter was very, very cold. In our office, we have +5 degrees in office, and we have electric generation and other tools. But in office, it's very complicated work, because when you finish your work in cold office, you go to your home in cold home, and you must live without electricity. Many people in this winter was shocked by this situation. But we work because we understand if we stop, if we don't work more, we will die.
It's something that I think everyone worldwide listening to this needs to actually think about. The hardships that you guys are going through to produce something for us, for the hobby, but also the actual day-to-day survival for you guys out there is just unbelievably difficult, and it's just so totally unnecessary. It really is. The sooner it ends, obviously, to the Ukraine's benefit, it has to happen. It really does.
Yeah. Right now, we already starting to prepare for winter of 2027. Right now, many people in Ukraine winter is coming. We prepare for winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very complicated, but we know we will win in this bloody war.
Yes, without question. Okay, boulders.
From a production point of view, what has been the biggest practical difficulties of manufacturing model products during wartime, obviously with the power outages, the logistics, staffing and exporting?
From the beginning of the war, we don't work almost 1 month when Russian military was in Kiev region. But when our army clear our Kiev region from Russians, we begin work. And our logistics recovered a couple of days of liberation. After the liberation, the Kiev region, the electricity mostly critical in winter time, because we have all tools like generators, and the biggest problem we have, it's people. We don't have people to work. It's our HR who is employ our employers who take people. We don't have in Ukraine people for work right now, because many people go to other countries, many people go to army, and many people stay at home right now. It's very difficult situation for us, because it's a main problem for us. All other cold winter, electricity, it's problems, but without people we can produce any stuff. Right now we have developed more than 200 new items, but without people we can't produce those sets. Have some problems with people, and I think it will be good, but not right now. Very difficult situation in Kyiv and other cities in Ukraine.
Yeah. So obviously, despite those challenges, the quality coming from Reskit is often regarded as some of the best in the industry, and I have to agree. I've got some of your sets that are absolutely stunning. Detail is superb on them. How do you maintain that standard under such pressure?
Interesting question. As Steve Jobs says, right people in the right place. We have many modelers in our company who every day check our items, build our items, and give feedback for our R&D department, who can fix the problems when for assembled model or for painting. One project have minimum 2 months in development. Big project, maybe 1 year, 6 months. We have very big time to develop our projects. From the beginning of our project to production, it may took sometimes 2 years, like that. We have start maybe in 2025 project for additional sets for F111. And right now we not show those projects in development, but we have those projects, and we have many big sets, and also we have the quality department who checked our instructions, sets, decals, and our other stuff. Sometimes we have problems, but we fix all our problems with our sets. It's mostly like small bugs in our products, like we don't have much ads or so many modelers help us with this, because when we give our in development, maybe someone understand our project and people say you have the problem in this project like this, and we fix the bugs.
Well, at least you sort it, and get it ready before it ships out and that. So that's really good to know, because I am looking forward to digging into those when I get a chance to. So my final question is, your products often cover subjects and details that mainstream manufacturers ignore. How do you decide what to produce next?
It's very interesting questions, because it depends who you consider large manufacturers. Like manufacturers of aftermarket or manufacturers of models.
Both. So obviously, you get a new model kit that will come out, and my scale's 32nd, and you'll obviously see some stuff that's lacking detail, but then a few months down the line, you see yourselves producing stuff but nobody else produces, to make that model more accurate and with a bit more finesse.
We listen to modelers, and we see the sales reports of our products for model. If we produced many sets for one model, we begin to produce one set. If those sets sells good, we produced other sets for these models. And we have like test project, like B1B, our sets in 48 scale. It was like testing our production line and testing our maximum size of parts. It was not for money project. It was project for testing to test our capabilities. We have many modelers in our company who give us the wish list models, and they collect information for this project. Like our R&D department, the director of R&D department, very love Catalina plane. And all project for Catalina, it's his homework. He is produced for himself this project, and came to me and asked, Oleksii, we will sell Reskit these items. I say, yes, of course. We pay for this work for him, and he produced many items for Catalina. Right now he produced like landing gears, cockpits, and other stuff for this plane.
When is that going to be produced?
It's a very complicated question. Right now we have correction for
I wish you hadn't said Catalina, because it's doing his best.
we have new set in production, the angel of engine nickel, correct nickel engine nickel angel. It will be new, and we have a tail for Catalina, and right now I know it's lures and other stuff in products.
I must admit, the engine nacelles do look really, really nice. I've actually seen some of the graphics you've put online and some of the stuff you've actually repaired. One of our audience members asked the question, when is the rudder correction coming? So thankfully it is coming, so he'll be happy at least. So we've had people asking about the Catalina already, so you do have a market for it.
2 sets.
2 sets, yes.
I've got them both. I've got the 5 and the 5A, so I've got them both. So that'll be interesting to look at and see.
Sorry, and also about Catalina. We have produced a tail for Catalina, but without our sets with metal landing gears, it will be very complicated to use our tail because it's very heavy and plastic landing gears will have problems. And when Nikolai say, I will make tail, I say, okay, if you make tail, you must make landing gears in metal for this model because it's very complicated to produce Catalina without maybe in sea, in water. Yeah.
Yes. Was it the A10 undercarriage you first incorporated the metal struts into the undercarriage?
Yeah. And all our new stuff, landing gears, will be with metal. But right now, we develop CH54B landing gears for 2 wheels without metal parts because we test all model and we have metal pins inside, and only for front landing gears will be metal parts. But also we produced right now A10 landing gears in 72 scale with metal parts. We spent more than 2 years to find production who can make small parts for 72 scale landing gears. Also, we plan produced F14 landing gears in 72 scale and other our stuff in 72 scale also, like landing gears with wires.
That'll be just fantastic. That really will. Okay, so whilst we're all salivating over that, Dan.
How much of Reskit's work now relies on modern CAD or computer-aided design and high-end 3D printing compared to traditional resin mastering techniques?
We rely on new technologies in 10,000% right now. We stopped our mold production like months ago, and we don't have any items in our price list or website in racing. Only like less chance to buy old wheel set, all our weapons set, and we produced in 3D printed. All our top selling products that we have right now, we do in 3D printed. From the beginning of the company, I have vision about our production, and we don't have any items in handmade masters. All our stuff from the beginning was in 3D printed. Only we have few sets of figures in handmade, but when the master was broken, production is stopped. And we decide don't make any handmade masters, and all our products from the beginning of Reskit is 3D printed.
Yeah. I suppose that kind of answers the next question already, which is, has the rapid growth of 3D printing changed the aftermarket industry for better or for worse from your perspective?
Yes, I think yes, because when we start our production, I dream about our big room with 3D printers, many 3D printers, and right now we have more than 200 printers in our office, and it was our main wish, start producing 3D printing. Many modelers in those times, like 5 or 6 years ago, no, 7 years ago, told me that there is 3D printing is very bad technology. Don't do Reskit with 3D printed. And we produced our sets, and when we have printers in big quantity, we begin produce our sets. And the main our line in this production was maximum detalization and maximum copy quality.
Very interesting. Many modelers describe Reskit's products almost as a kit within a kit. How do you balance absolute detail against keeping the products buildable for ordinary modelers or even perhaps beginners?
When we developing a project, we immediately assess how difficult it will be to build and paint. We once had a project for U1D cockpit. We know that putting together this cockpit assembled and painted will be very difficult for people. And we write in backside of the kit, good luck with the assembly. Right? Yeah.
I wish other manufacturers would do that.
I know, because it was maybe first our cockpit, and it will be very, very difficult because the chair inside this cockpit was very teeny and have many photo-etched parts, and it will be very difficult. Right now, this set not will be so difficult because in 3D printed I could print teeny like lines, and it will be much easier to assemble. But in those time when you must cut off all resin, it will be a very difficult project. But we sell more than 500 items. It's very good project for us. And we redesign this project in future for Kitty Hawk model.
I see. Can I just ask, is it 16K printers you use, or are they more or less than that?
We use, right now we have 60K and we have 40K.
Yeah, fantastic. Very interesting.
But 200 printers. Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
How do you keep the power on? Because obviously you've had issues with power being cut from some of the attacks, etc. How do you maintain the power? Do you have generators?
Yeah, we have generators and we have big batteries in our production line. We spent many time to understand how it's work with printers, and right now we have like 10 big batteries in this room. I'm not understanding this, but it's working. Our printers can work without electricity right now more than 10 hours.
Ah, good. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
In one day, we have printed more than 500 platforms in one working day. We have 200 printers, but in one day, our team, we have two team in our production line. One team work from early morning, second team working in evening, and have produced more than 500 platforms with prints.
That's amazing. Do you have an issue with getting resin or any materials?
No. We have stock in our office for 6 months of all items for production.
Okay, do you have a stock, or do you actually buy in just when you need it?
No, we have a stock. Right now we have a stock 5 or 6 tons of resin in office.
5 or 6 tons of resin?
Yeah.
Wow.
1 month.
That's a lot of A10 cockpits.
Yeah, that is.
In 1 month we produce more than 1 tons of our products. Yeah.
So you have 6 months reserve, basically.
That is incredible, isn't it?
Wow. Month. Yeah, that really is.
25% is 25%, minimum 25% have product defects. And all those items, 20 go to trash in 1 month.
Right. So that goes back to your quality control. You make sure that it's perfect and you won't let it go if it's not.
We have 8 girls in our company who every day take parts in hands, look at, check in production list and say it's good part or not good part.
Well, that's fantastic. And that's a great attitude to have. And that's obviously why your company is on the upward trajectory, because a reputation for quality is very hard earned and easy to lose.
I don't think I've ever had a bad component from a Reskit accessory. And I think I've got about a month's worth of supply, and they've actually run from the attic.
No.
Sometimes we have problems with our items, but I think biggest our part of our company, it's our support team. People have problems, we help with problems with our sets, because I think it's very important for modelers and for customers.
Yeah, you said earlier about how important the team is to the company and the reason that you're producing the quality that you are.
I wish other manufacturers would do that, especially mainstream manufacturers that would have quality control like that, because sometimes it leaves egg on the face.
Yeah, and they've been in it a long time and they should know better.
We have some problems sometimes, but we fix it.
But at least you fix it before it goes out, Oleksii. That's the main thing, is that your quality control is that phenomenal that you can spot it before it's shipped out. So that's why nobody's got a negative word to say about your products, because it's done correctly.
Not all time. We have problems also, because we sometimes have new girl who check this sets. Sometimes we have problems in production line. We have maybe 10 or maybe we have more than 20 requests for replacement parts per month.
That's not bad considering you're doing a 1 ton a month.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And you're only getting 20.
That's pretty phenomenal. Because obviously there's some things that you can't control, Oleksii. Like, you've got people all over the world ordering direct from you. You can't control postage. So the postal services could have dropped that package. It could have cracked. So there is some stuff that could be out of your control. But 20 parts per month is pretty excellent. That's high quality.
We have also requests from broken parts, and also if it's our problem and we fix this problem when the parts go broken.
Oleksii, can I ask, what product or release are you personally most proud of, either because of the engineering challenge or maybe because of what it meant emotionally for the company?
Yes, it's maybe F111 project, like cockpit, because in this cockpits and our standalone cockpits in 42 scale, it was a very difficult project for us, because he have all technology in one, like photo etched parts, 3D printed parts, resin parts, decal and painting mask, 3D decal, and low pressure casting for glass parts. It was first our difficult product in our company. It was very difficult because first version was in resin, and we have problems with resin shrinkage. In 3D printed, we also have those problems, but in resin, it's a much bigger problem. Those project was like, we produced more than 1 year all cockpits for all models, and also standalone model in 32 scale. It's big, and we learn many techniques and many technologies in this project.
Absolutely. And I know you touched upon it already. You said about how you listen to modelers, but I'm interested to know just how important has support from the international modeling community been for Reskit and to Ukrainian manufacturers more broadly over the last few years?
It's a very difficult question, because very appreciated to people who support our company. Many people help us. Many people, when the full-scale war begins, call us so that we could came to them when the war was started. Many our partners, distributors, and other friends from other companies and countries wanted to help us, and they help us from the beginning of war and till right now. Many modelers decide to not buy Russian aftermarket companies and models. But we see many modelers also buy those products from many countries, from Russia and other Russia products like other brands, Russian brands. We have big help from many companies. I want to say thank you for you and your companies and your countries for help in this war, because it's very important for us. It's a very difficult time, and we wish to say thank you.
It puts everything into perspective. Reskit really does. Looking ahead then, what does the future look like for Reskit? Are there any new scales or technologies, maybe subjects or ambitions that you can maybe tease for us Benchmates?
Yes, we have right now we start new our line. It's Reskit Armor in production. We have few sets right now, and right now we have sets almost for IDF like Merkava and other stuff. And later I think it will be models, plastic models. We have produced our first models in production right now. It's like A7.
Yeah, that looks phenomenal.
It will be plastic kits. It's not will be racing kit. We decided produce normal, big, good model. We have Scan A7 plane in Poland. And right now we have small redesign of our project to correct the small shapes of our project, because we start project with scans, but we don't have all scans. And right now we fix the bugs in our projects. It will be our maybe first project. And later it's very complicated question. I wish that we will be live, because last few months in Kiev was very complicated. It was like I saw rockets. I live near to Kiev. It's like 10 kilometers to Kiev, and all rockets go from my home to Kiev. And I have a few rockets 1 kilometer from my home, few rockets and a few drones also in this small town where I live, near Kiev. It's very complicated for us, but we will be okay.
Without question. Okay, on the back of that, we've had some of our benchmates send in a couple of questions, and if you could have a go at answering them, it would be appreciated. So we've had Alex Taylor and Steve Hayes have asked if there are any plans on the back of the superb A10 sets you've recently produced of looking at F-16 cockpit and wheelbase sets.
Right now we have many sets for A16 and many sets for A10 in development, like wheelbase for A10. Right now we have produced F-16 cockpits for Kinetic, Great Wall Hobby kit and Tamiya kit. All sets in development. Great Wall Hobby, we produced SUFA cockpit right now, and we start, but right now freeze the project like landing gears and air intakes for F-16, but later we will start it again. Right now we have all project in cockpits for F-16.
In 30-second scale as well in the future?
Yeah, of course.
Good. If you can make them the A model midlife update sooner rather than later, because I'm waiting to build one.
Yeah. I knew that was going.
Yeah. Right now in development.
It's high on my list. Fantastic. Okay. Brian Robinson asks, how do you research your projects? Is it physical research material, i.e. measuring real-life subjects, or are you relying on accessible information?
Oh, we have many variants. We have many friends in all over the world who can go to plane and take measurements and take pictures. I was 3 times in the United States, and all 3 times, half of my vacation, I was in a museum with photoapparat and take photos. Also, we have many friends who have information, who can go to museum, and also we go to museum and take pictures, take measurements. In many projects, in all projects, we have different type of information. but without full information, we can start project.
Okay, that makes sense. And on the back of that, Rob Munfay has made an observation. You seem to be very keen on helicopter subjects. And with Revell re-releasing the 132nd Puma this year, are there any plans to hit this subject hard as it's screaming for attention?
Right now, maybe no. For this year, we have a plan for our production line. In next year, maybe.
Fantastic. That'll make him very happy. Oleksii, thank you very much for your time. It's certainly been one of our more hard-hitting conversations we've had with different modelling companies and the difficulties that you guys are experiencing on a day-to-day basis. So please extend our thanks to everyone in the company for everything that you're doing for the hobby. It is appreciated, and I think it's fair to say you're not alone.
Thank you. It's very important for us.
And I think, as Dan's actually displaying, Slava Ukraine.
Героям слава. I think when war is ended, in Kyiv will be a big modeling exhibition, and you could go to our country.
Absolutely. Would love to. Yeah.
Definitely. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, for now, thank you very much, and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Coming up in episode 32, we are joined by 148th Aircraft Modeller John Bryan, plus the IPMS UK Executive Committee to launch Scale Model World 2026, coming up in Telford this November.
Well, Benchmates, that just about brings episode 31 to a close. A massive thank you once again to Oleksii from Reskit for joining us and giving us such an honest and insightful look behind the scenes. What they continue to achieve under incredibly difficult circumstances is truly remarkable, and we're hugely grateful for his time, and the sooner this pointless war comes to an end, the better for the Ukrainian people. In addition, a huge shout out to Mariana in the marketing team at Reskit for making this happen. Thank you from all of us on the show, and we hope we get the chance to meet you both in person very soon in Ukraine. Our thanks as well to everyone at IPMS Avon for joining us on IPMS Dispatches and giving us an update on the branch and the upcoming show. And some of the team, as you heard, are going to be present at Avon, so hopefully you'll come up and say hi to us there, grab a sticker, and you never know, maybe we'll stick a microphone in front of you. And of course, a thank you to all of you, our amazing Benchmates community, from all over the world. Every download, every message, every photo of what's on your bench, every recommendation to a friend, it genuinely means the world to us. Don't forget, you can find us across Facebook, Instagram, and all the usual podcast platforms. And if you're enjoying the episode, please leave us a 5-star review or rating, because it really helps the analytics and for more people to actually discover the show. Okay, that's it from this episode. So, from Shane.
Take care, Benchmates.
From Boulders.
Cheerio, Benchmates.
From Nevs.
Bye all.
And from Dan.
Dear Benchmates, stop doom scrolling and get building.
And from myself, thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.